I volunteered at Feeding America West Michigan for 7 hours, and I did it 2 separate times. I also volunteered at Gleaner's Food Bank in East Michigan over spring break for 4 hours. So that was a total of 11 hours that I volunteered. My responsibilities at Feeding America West Michigan was to take all the food that came in from the donators and separate it into different categories. Most of their food is donated from their Walmart, which is a majority of Target, Walmart, and Meijer stores. From there, I would take the food and separate it into different categories. For example, I would take all the baked goods and put that into one category. FYI, there was a lot of extra baked goods that the donators donated. Then I would take all of the produce or the meat and the vegetables and put that into a separate one. Then from there, we would shrink wrap it so they could be taken into areas where the people receiving the food could pick it up and pick out what they wanted personally. My responsibilities at Gleaner's Food Bank was to check the people out once they were done shopping. At Gleaner's, they have a really cool setup. It is set up like a grocery shop, so it makes it more of a welcoming area. They have a set limit on each things, but the people receiving the food are able to pick out what they want. Once they pick everything they desire, they bring it up to the cashier where they weigh it in. There is no limit on weights, they just calculate it for records. Once they do that, that's where my job came in. I would bag or box all their food and bring it out to their car. To see the look on their faces was priceless. I chose this community service work because you could actually help people in a simple way that is actually huge. I didn't personally donate anything, but being able to help hands-on is more impactful than just donating some money to a charity. This doesn't affect me personally, but I have met multiple people that have suffered with hunger, and to be honest, you would have never expected them to have gone through it or suffered from it, but they have. But with my major of marketing, everyone always thinks it's just to make money or to start new events. But I'm going into events and planning, and with my degree and interest in events, I want to do nonprofit events that raise money for these organizations because it is more important for everyone to help. It's not only just to raise money for the organizations, but to get people involved. One company I did an internship for was Urban Outfitters, and they did this event for a Boys and Girls Club. Many of these kids did not know when or where their next meal was coming from. That honestly breaks my heart. They also didn't have any backpacks or any school supplies. So, Urban Outfitters donated school supplies to the Boys and Girls Club. Yes, it's not food, but along with what they gave them, they also gave them little snacks for the week and a meal for that day. The looks on the kids' faces were amazing, but you never would have guessed that these kids had nothing because they stayed smiling and happy. We played music for them, and they had a huge dance party. It was priceless to see that they were so happy. So this is something I want to be able to do with my major and my job one day to make a difference in the world to end or help hunger in any way possible. These little actions make a huge difference in so many people's lives, and anything you can do can better the situation. And I was happy that I was able to make a difference in someone's life by volunteering just a few hours of my day. This volunteering definitely related to poverty. There are so many people that suffer from poverty every day. Low income, poor areas, disability, etc. are all factors that play a role in this. Many kids do not have a choice when it comes to not getting food for the day or even the week. It is mostly because their parents cannot afford it, or they might possibly be living on their own and have to fend for themselves. This is honestly very shocking to me that so many kids have to live at such a young age on their own. It is super saddening, but this is definitely why so many people are hungry these days. Low income is the #1 reason why so many families cannot get food. There are food stamps and EBT, but not all families qualify for that, and for so many reasons, and to be honest, it's kind of sad. There are so many families working their butts off to earn money and get food for themselves and their family if they have one. And then there are people that literally do nothing and somehow get food stamps. To me, this is very upsetting because how is that fair? I know certain people that have done this and live off food stamps without having a job and will also claim disability for no reason. And that itself can cause a social problem, but let's just not get into that. It can lead to problems in education when kids are not getting the nutrients they need to focus and stay healthy. If you do not get enough food in your body, it will shut down and not function the way it needs to. Also, it can cause anger problems. The joke nowadays is that when someone doesn't eat, they get hangry. But really this makes complete sense, and a lot of people suffer from anger problems because they do not get enough food to give them energy. This can really affect the way a student performs in class and how their grades will be. This will eventually affect their future too, and being able to get themselves out of poverty and change their lives for the better may not be an option. It helps that some schools offer free and reduced lunches, but again, this only helps them for one meal, and when they go home for the weekend, they have nothing. My sorority Sigma Kappa here at Grand Valley actually did an event with Hand to Hand, which is an organization that makes kids meals for students and other kids struggling with hunger over the weekend. What we did was have everyone and anyone donate food such as pudding cups, mac and cheese, chicken noodle soup, peanut butter, granola bars, and so on. Then whoever could volunteer went to Hand in Jenison and packed these snack packs for the kids. This little action helped so many kids, and it was only 45 minutes of our day. These little things can go a long way. To me, volunteering is the easiest thing you can do to help. I personally love volunteering my time because I know I am helping someone in some way. If I am capable of helping someone by taking from about 45 minutes to 4 hours of my time, I will. It is super rewarding knowing you can do something for others. I definitely gained perspective about hunger by volunteering because you don't realize how many people suffer from hunger until you see it with your own eyes. Especially when I was volunteering at Gleaner's Food Bank and working the checkout area, it really opened my eyes to see all the families and everything they were getting to last them for a month and hoping they had enough. It's just so crazy to think that a family can't go to the grocery store whenever they want and get food whenever they feel like it. I've never had this problem personally, and not being able to get food with my family whenever I felt like it, I couldn't imagine the feeling. It's crazy to see the different things people have to go through in order to survive in today. In the general perspective, the concept of volunteering refers to rendering of service by choice of or free will for the benefit of the wider community by an individual, group, or institution without necessarily expecting monetary gain, in full knowledge and appreciation of being a volunteer. In the last decades, government has recognized the critical contribution that volunteering makes to build a strong and cohesive society. It has promoted volunteering as the essential act of citizenship. Volunteering also has positive effects on volunteers as individuals. It increases their self-esteem, enhances various skills and capacities, expand career paths, and be healthier physically and mentally. The type of volunteer work that I did is important and impactful because it is hands-on. Yes, it doesn't seem like unloading a truck of food is super important, but in reality, if we didn't help unload those trucks, there would be no food to give to the people suffering from hunger. Packaging all the food together in their separate categories and getting them ready for the store is a huge help for the company and everyone coming in to get the food. Taking just a few hours out of my day to volunteer and do something so simple to help someone else is definitely super rewarding. I will most definitely continue to work with this organization. The coordinator, Nate, is super nice and wanting to help in as many ways as possible. I've already gone back twice, so if that doesn't say something, I don't know what does. Feeding America is a very cool organization and would help out in any way needed. I'll probably be making more trips back over the summer and over the next 3 years being at Grand Valley. Again, Sigma Kappa at Grand Valley is all about helping and volunteering, and we went there for an event in the past. They were so very welcoming and wanting us to get involved, and it showed their passion for what they are doing.